Hello and welcome to Ian Paul. Today I'm going to do sort of a Q&A tutorial type thing. There's only a couple of questions that I can really answer that people have sent me. There were some other questions which they're so brief in the question I don't really know how to answer them, so I'll probably just reply back in the comments asking a bit more detail. So yeah, let's get started. Right, so we're going to take a look at the screw back shot, and the main thing is to hit the bottom of the cue ball. Now you've got to be careful not to, you want to have a little bit of aiming down, and not too much though. You can have it flat as well, depends how much you want to get into it. You have to hit it pretty hard, and also you want the cue sort of to go through, so probably, it's difficult to say how much to go through, but as long as you're not actually pushing the cue ball. There's a difference between pushing and striking the cue ball. Because you've got the striking where you can push, where you sort of go through like that, but you've already hit the cue ball. It's not pushing, which is that. So you can see the difference. If you can't, then you're blind. So yeah, the screw back shot, you want to hit it with a nice amount of force. Just make sure you hit the bottom of the cue ball. So as they say, if you look at the cue ball as a clock face from where you are standing, aim at 6 o'clock. And make sure that you do pull your cue back after you've gone through the cue ball. Otherwise it'll be a foul and the cue ball will come back and hit your cue. So we'll try it again. A bit more distance this time. There you go. Right, so for this, I'm showing what happens when you put left hand spin or right hand spin on the cue ball. Now, the question by Jack, it says when he hits the cue ball on the far left or right, it goes in the opposite direction and not straight. What's the proper aim? What's the proper way to aim with spin? Now, yes, he is correct. When you do put a bit of, say if you put left hand side on, as I am from my view, the cue ball will go off to the right. It's mainly because you sort of, you could say sort of pushing it in that direction, because you're hitting that edge of it. You're not aiming at the centre of the cue ball. You're hitting the side of it. So it will push it, as you can see there, it's already pushing it in that direction where I've just pushed through. Whereas if I aimed into the cue ball, it'd be pushing it straight, even though it's somehow veered off to the right there. So yeah, it does do that. As you can see, ever so slightly, my straight shot will be aiming there. You can see ever so slightly goes off to the right when I put left hand spin on it. Now, of course, this increases how much it goes to a certain direction when there's more distance between the cue ball and the object ball or the cushion that you're aiming for. If you know already that the fact that if you hit the left hand side of the cue ball is going off to the right, you're going to have to move, you're going to have to change your aim target ever so slightly to where you would normally aim. So for example, I want to hit the centre of this yellow ball, but if I put a left hand side on it, I'm going to hit the right hand side of the yellow, only very slightly though. As you can see, it goes off to the right. So when I aim full ball, it's straight. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and accommodate the spin, so that means I aim straight at the yellow ball. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put left hand side spin on, but I'm also going to aim slightly away from the yellow ball. I'm going to aim obviously to the left of it, because the cue ball is going to go right. So hopefully when I take this now, it should just do what it just did a second ago. So it hits the cue ball again. Now obviously with the more distance it's much more difficult to get that accuracy, so it'll just basically take a lot of practice to do it. I'm going to show you how I get the right angle for the shot. So how is it I know that I want that yellow ball to go over there? Well, the way I do it is you've got to aim, the more left you have to go with the object ball to the ending target, or whatever you like to call it, the more to the right of the object ball you've got to go for. So here is what they say is half ball. So what it means by that is when the cue ball hits that object ball, it's half ball. So obviously from where the camera view is, it isn't quite half ball, but from where I was, where I'm standing, it's half ball. So if I just bring that back somewhere, wherever it was around there, if I aim half ball, so it's basically this edge, because I'm aiming to the left, it's this edge of the cue ball I'm looking at, so it's half ball. So obviously it would be the other way around if it was aiming to the right. So here I'm going to try and aim for the corner pocket, and I'm using this time the right hand side of the cue ball. So again, it's actually about half ball on the yellow. So someone asked about some tips for snooker, how they can practice the shots, or what's the best way to help them. But this is also actually useful for pool. If you set them out like how I have, to be honest, I was never really a fan myself of this, but I just like putting balls as much as possible. But if you set up balls in a line on the table, or for snooker, do all the reds and put the colours on their normal spots. And then try and get the most points as you can out of it. So put it like for pool, like I like to when I have tried this, I like to have it sort of mixed up a bit, so balls are in different places or whatever. And you've got to try and stick to certain colours. So you'd be always using different types of spin. Doesn't matter whether you're using top spin, bottom, but it just gives you that little testing you on whether you can control the cue ball. I'm not going to go through it all here, but it's just as an example. So I hope some of that helped. Just don't forget, you've got to keep practicing. You can't just expect to get stuff straight away. A lot of people think like as soon as they get down on a shot they're going to get it. That's not the case. You can easily miss it. There can be multiple different reasons as to why you miss it. Whether it be you're just aiming it wrong in the first place, whether it be when you're actually taking the shot, you move your cue and hit the wrong part of the cue ball. The pace as well. It could be quite a number of things. So yeah, I hope some of that helped. And thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And goodbye.